Hi, Archie, aka Book Eating Boy,
Eating boy.
or Beb, aka Bob. But I can't remember what Bob stands for. Something about a bear. Do you remember what Bob stands for?
Yes.
What was it?
It stands for bear on bike.
Bear on bike. That's right. That was the shirt you had on yesterday. How are you?
And today I have another English shirt. Oh, wait. Oh. Another English shirt.
Oh, I see. A ruler and a pencil. Oh, looking sharp, says the ruler. You rule, says the pencil. I like it. Very fun.
Babuto Pape. Did you see that?
All right, looking sharp and you rule. Nice. I see you got drums behind you. Are those drums?
Yes.
Are you playing the drums?
Yes.
Are those for you?
Yes, for me and my dad.
Oh, good. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about before we go after school with Jigsaw and Mila to visit the scarecrow. I wanted to go back for just a minute to this long discussion we had yesterday. We had a long discussion about why were these characters saying, let's just say that the world is full of mysteries. We had 3 characters say that. We had Lucy Hiller say, the world is full of mysteries. And we had Ralphie say the same thing. The world is full of mysteries. And then we had Mila say, let's just say that the world is full of mysteries. And we had this long discussion about it. We are kind of asking, what do they mean and why are they saying this? Well, that was a hard discussion to have because I think each of those 3 characters had a different reason for saying it. I think some people would use this sentence as kind of an excuse for unexplainable things. So if there's something in the world they don't understand or they think it's crazy, or if they want to believe in something that there is no proof or evidence for, or like if they want to believe in ghosts or UFOs or aliens, then they could just say, the world is full of mysteries. And remember, a mystery is when we have a question, but we don't have an answer. So maybe something strange happens and we don't understand what happened or how it happened or why it happened. We have lots of questions about it and no answers. That would be a mystery. So there are some people that just want to be able to believe in anything, no matter how bizarre, and not worry about not having a reason for it, not worry about there being no scientific proof. And so for them, it's just a very easy sentence to say, the world is full of mysteries, as though that's kind of, their excuse. They're implying that we don't need to solve every mystery. We don't need to figure everything out. We don't need to have proof for everything. We can just say there are lots of mysteries in the world and this is one of them and I am fine with it. I think that might be the reason that Lucy Hiller had. I think the reason for Ralphie is he was just making a joke. He was taking what Lucy said and he was kind of turning it into a joke. So he was talking about his unmatched socks and what a mystery that is. And he was using that sentence, boy, the world is full of mysteries. I have no idea. But he was being silly with it. And for Mila, Mila is the kind of person, being a detective, that is not just going to say, well, there are lots of mysteries in the world and that's fine. We don't have to figure them out. Because she's a detective, if she sees a mystery, she wants to solve it. So she's not the kind of person who's okay with saying, we don't need to understand everything. We don't need to figure out every mystery. We can leave a lot of things unexplained. If there is something that is unexplained for her, she will investigate it. She will look for clues. That's why yesterday I said that a detective reminds me of a scientist. They both look for clues, look for answers, try to figure things out. They don't want things to be left unexplained. They want to find explanations for everything. So if there is a scarecrow walking around, they want to know why and how. I'm reminded of this cartoon from when I was a kid called Scooby Doo. And there was a character, her name was Velma. And
Oh, I know.
do you know her?
I know. Scooby Doo is very funny.
It is very funny. So here is the Scooby-Doo crew. And we've got Fred right here and Daphne. This is Scooby-Doo, the dog. This is Shaggy. And right here is Velma. Well, Velma is kind of like the scientist of the group. Now, all of these people are detectives. They have a detective club or group, and they solve mysteries together. But Velma does not believe in ghosts.
But all the time, it's not a ghost or something. It's just someone have a mask or something and be like a ghost.
That's right. That's right. And Velma believes that every mystery they are trying to solve will have a real person behind it wearing a mask. So she does not believe that anything is caused by a ghost, because that would be unexplainable by science. She thinks that everything will have a scientific reason, a human reason. There is something that can explain it that makes sense in the real world. So if you said to her that a scarecrow is walking around, she would think someone is wearing the mask of a scarecrow. She would not think that the scarecrow is haunted and that the ghost inside the scarecrow is making it walk. She would look for a different kind of explanation. So here, all of a sudden, Mila is asking Jigsaw to talk to her about the scarecrow. And he was confused and he was saying, wait a minute, I thought you didn't believe me. Why do you want to talk about the scarecrow? And she was just realizing that the scarecrow was a mystery. She knows Jigsaw well enough to know that he's not going to lie or make it up. In fact, there was someone here on this other page. Remember Joey Pignatano? Joey Pignatano had said, I believe Jigsaw. He wouldn't lie. And Mila knows the same thing. She knows that Jigsaw would not lie about this. So he definitely saw what looked like a scarecrow walking. Well, Mila is going to think, okay, it's not a ghost. I don't believe it's a ghost. I don't believe the scarecrow is haunted. So it's a mystery, but there is an answer and she's going to find the answer. Right now it's a mystery because she doesn't know how it happened or who made it happen or why it happened, but she realizes it is a mystery and she realizes it's somehow connected to the necklace mystery because it happened at the very drop-off place where Jigsaw was supposed to bring the money. And so now she wants to ask questions about the scarecrow. Now she's interested in learning more about the scarecrow. And Jigsaw wants to know why. And so she kind of tongue-in-cheek says, oh, let's just say the world is full of mysteries. She's not saying the same reason as Lucy, that I'm okay with that. We don't need to have all the answers. We can have unexplained things happen. We don't have to always be searching for answers or solving mysteries. That's not her reason. That was Lucy's reason. But Mila is just kind of copying that, just like Ralphie did, kind of tongue in cheek, sort of to be cute or funny, to give Jigsaw a reason, but it's not the real reason. So I think here she's just showing a little sense of humor. So they decide that they're going to go after school because they want another look at the scarecrow. Now, before we leave the school and go check this out, we are going to hear a little bit more about what the kids are doing at school that day. So that afternoon in class, we studied Eddie Becker's all-time favorite subject, money. Ms. Gleason set out a bunch of food items like cans and cereal boxes and other stuff. Each item had a different price. Then Ms. Gleason gave us all play money. We were allowed to buy anything we wanted. The trick was we took turns being the storekeeper. We all had to figure out how to make the right change. And here you can see a look inside the classroom. Here's Ms. Gleason. There are the kids at their desks. Ms. Gleason joked, "This will be good practice when we all become millionaires one day." Pretty soon, we were all imagining what we'd really buy if we were millionaires. Now I'm just going to show you the number 1 million. It is done differently than it is done in Chinese. So I'm going to start all the way back. Here is going to be my decimal point. So this is my 0. This is my tens place and my 100s place. And then I have a comma. Every 3 numbers, I'm going to have a comma. This is my thousands place, my 10,000s, my 100,000s, and then another comma. And then this place right here is my millions place. So this means I have 1 million. So we write this differently or say it differently than in Chinese. 1 million. So a millionaire would have at least that much money. Now, if I understand correctly in Chinese, you are very interested in this place. This would be the 10,000 place. And so you would talk about how many groups of 10,000 you have. And I think that you'd have 100 groups. How do you say 10,000 in Chinese? Is it called yuan? Is this number right here yuan? How do you say 100? Bai? Don't you say yi bai yuan? I'm pretty sure that a group of 10,000 has a Chinese word yuan. Yuan. And so if you want to have a million, you have to say how many groups of 10,000 do we need? And to get a million, you need to have 100 groups of 10,000. And
my mom searched the Google and she said our one used to be your 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have 10,000, didn't you?
Yes, that's right here. So this in green, this is yuan. And we need to have 100 of these to be a million. So that's bai yuan, because bai is the same as bai, that equals 100. So if we have 100 groups of 10,000 bai yuan, that would equal a million. I find it very confusing to go between Chinese numbers and English numbers. All righty. Well, pretty soon we were all imagining what we'd really buy if we were millionaires. Boy, me too. A super-powered telescope, Jasper Noonan announced, so I could see all the way to Pluto. That's the planet that's the farthest one away. Now, when I was a kid, we learned in school that Pluto was a planet. It was the one that was the farthest one away.
But
Today,
now Pluto is not we didn't have 9 planets. We just have
8. I'm glad that you just studied the planets because you can tell us that today Pluto is not considered a planet. I wonder if in the future the scientists will change their mind about that again and decide it is a planet.
But Pluto is too small, and I heard that one time Pluto go inside a planet. How do you say that?
Orbit, maybe?
It went inside, I don't know which planet, but one planet trail.
Oh, okay. Well, you have learned a lot about planets, so that's very cool. Now, Helen Zuckerman, if she had $1 million, she would buy her own karaoke machine. A karaoke machine is that thing where you have a microphone and you sing. And I think that there's like a little TV screen that has all the words of the song written on it. And then you can just read the words and sing into the microphone, and then your voice comes across a speaker. So people like to sing, but they like to see what the words are. That lets them sing songs that they don't even know what the words are because they can just read them on the screen. All righty. And then Geetha says she would get a room full of art supplies. I knew what I'd buy, thinks Jigsaw. A clue. The stolen necklace was still a mystery, right? Here are 3 questions that have not been answered yet. Number 1, who took it? Number 2, why did they take it? And number 3, why did they want me, Jigsaw, to deliver the money? I got my lucky break that very afternoon. I was in line for the bus. A few kids were jostling around, bumping and yapping. Bobby Solofsky was pushing, like always. I asked Mila, how did you get home yesterday anyway? Did your father give you a lift? Remember, he had called her at Kim's house and said, don't walk home alone. Call your dad. Actually, Mila said, Kayla's boyfriend, remember Kim's sister is Kayla. Kayla's boyfriend stopped by right after you called, Mila said. He gave me a ride on his mountain bike. Cool. He talked non-stop, Mila continued. He said he took his bike everywhere, off trail, that would be like on a dirt path, not on the road, or to school. It didn't matter. He teased me for riding the big yellow Twinkie. So that's his nickname for the school bus. He calls it a big yellow Twinkie. So let's take a quick look at the school bus and at what a Twinkie is and see if his joke kind of makes sense.
Who's Kayla's boyfriend?
Well, we don't know yet. They haven't told us. Okay, so here is a Twinkie. This is a kind of a snack food that was very popular among American kids back when I was a kid. And that white cream in the middle is a lot of sugar. So there is a lot of sugar in this snack. It's not a healthy snack. Do you think it looks disgusting?
No.
No? All right, that's a Twinkie. So here's the box.
The big yellow Twinkie.
And here's a school bus. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think that he calls the school bus a big yellow Twinkie?
He's right.
And so he's kind of making fun of Mila for riding the school bus. He does not ride the school bus because he rides his bike. All right, here's our last page, and here you can see the school bus coming. And here are the kids getting ready to get on the bus. They're lined up to get on the bus. So Jigsaw is listening to Mila talk about this, and he raises his eyebrow. Oftentimes when we say that we raise an eyebrow, it means kind of like, huh? I can't really do it very well. Some people can actually just raise one eyebrow. I don't think I can do it. But if you've ever seen someone raise just one eyebrow, it kind of means, what? I can't believe it. So he's surprised. So he raises an eyebrow because he's surprised. And he says, the big yellow, what? In italics, what? Twinkie, Mila confirmed. That's what he calls the school bus. Funny, isn't it? Mila continued enthusiastically. Boy, this word has a lot of syllables and letters. Let's count the letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are not very many 16 letter words in English. One of the ways that we can add on a lot of extra letters is by adding on suffixes. So one suffix is the AL, and then the other suffix is the LY. Enthusiastic. And actually you could say that TIC is a suffix. You could add the letter after the S, you could just put an M and you'd have enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is when you are excited about something. Enthusiastic is an adjective. That means that it just describes someone who's very excited to do something, has a lot of energy about it, can't wait. Enthusiastically is how we turn it into an adverb. And so the way that Mila is talking is with great excitement. Now, why is she excited? Well, we're about to find out. She's going to tell us about the bike that this boy has. You should have seen his bike, Jigsaw. It was a Schwinn Moab 3 with 24 speeds, a crow moly frame, front suspension, grabber seat, the works. Wow, she knows a lot about bikes. I don't even know what any of that means.
I know all of that.
You do?
Very easy.
The Schwinn Moab 3. Okay, here's a Schwinn Moab 3. Now, this part right here, that's the forks. So those should be red, okay? So here's what the forks look like. So the forks are this piece right here. So when you look at this, you can see that the forks is this piece right here. Now on this bike, it's white. Here's one. It's a little bit blurry, but here you can see the forks are red and most of the frame is white. So that's the Schwinn Moab 3. It sounded strangely familiar. Then it hit me. I'd seen that bike before in Kim Lewis's backyard. White frame, red forks? I asked. Mila nodded. Yeah, how did you know? I ignored Mila's question and asked one of my own. Does this kid have a name? Now remember, on the page before here, it says, I got my lucky break. Remember, I got my lucky break. Well, a lucky break is when something happens just by chance. You There's nothing you did to make it happen. Just one of those things that happens in your life. You're not expecting it. You're not planning for it. It just happens. And all of a sudden, it's helpful. It gives you an important clue. It gives you an important piece of information. It makes the puzzle all of a sudden make sense. So that would be a lucky break. Now, a detective would be very excited to get a lucky break in the case, especially if they're stumped, especially if being stumped means you're like, I can't figure it out. I need one more clue. I just can't figure it out. And Jigsaw had said, I know what I'd buy if I was a millionaire, a clue, because he's stumped. He can't put all the pieces together and see how they fit and figure it out. So he's going to get this lucky break. And it comes from the conversation he's having with Mila when she's talking about how she got home the day before and how she met Kayla's boyfriend and how he had this bike. And as she was explaining all the details of the bike, the Schwinn Moab 3, 24 speeds, chromoly frame, front suspension, grabber seat, the works, Jigsaw's thinking, this sounds familiar. And he's like, does it have a white frame and red forks? And Mila says, how did you know? And she says, when he says, does the kid have a name? She says, yeah, let me think. It was a strange name. Mila squeezed her eyes shut, trying to remember. Fuzzy or Wuzzy or Buzzy. Yeah, that's it, Buzzy, she chuckled. Goofy, huh? You know, oftentimes when we're trying to remember something, we might remember something.
Buzzy.
Buzzy.
He's the leaf raking.
Right, he's the leaf raking competition. You're right. So a lot of times when we're trying to remember something, we might remember something that rhymes with it. And then we're like, that doesn't sound quite right. And we say something that rhymes with it and something else that rhymes with it, or maybe something that starts with the same sound. And then we finally get it and we hear it and we're like, oh yeah, that sounds right. I've heard that before. So sometimes saying things out loud, even if it's not quite right, if we get any of the correct sounds in the word, it can help our brain remember and be like, let me just keep playing with that a little bit. Rhyme it, start it with a different letter until all of a sudden our brain says, oh yeah, I've heard that before. That's why Mila is saying, Buzzy, Wuzzy, Buzzy. Oh yeah, Buzzy, that's what it is. And she thought that was kind of a goofy name. Now, do you remember where Jigsaw had seen that bike before?
Yes.
So back when he was at Kim's house and she was on the phone, it was the chapter with the mysterious caller. Do you remember right here? They were in Kim's kitchen. And do you remember Jigsaw looked out the window and what did he see?
The bike.
And he said, he goes, oh, a white mountain bike with red front forks. It was a Schwinn Moab 3, a very cool bike. I wish it was mine. So very interesting. That's his lucky break, getting that name, Buzzy. That's Kayla's boyfriend. All right, so long.
Chip. Bye-bye.